G'day guys, how we going? It's Dave Tran here and welcome to this month's Guitar Zero to Hero live stream Q&A. This is going to be a fairly short one today. I didn't get many questions this month, so it'll be a quick one, but also I want to talk about some ear training on and how to pick up songs by ear and using power chords in order to do so. Not sure if you read the email, but I will be now changing the format of these Q&As. I will be doing them every second month, just so I can build up more questions to answer in one go. At the moment, there's not too many questions coming in, and I haven't opened it up to new members, so I imagine most of you guys have had your questions answered and all that. So moving it to every second month now. Cool. All right, so let's jump straight in. We don't have too many technical questions today. They're more based around guitar maintenance and care. So the first question was from Marilla, and she asked how do I take care of my guitars? And it's fairly simple. I keep it fairly simple when I'm taking care of my guitars. Nothing too special. Main thing is to always wipe your strings down after you've played. That's probably the biggest thing you want to do, especially if you've got sweaty hands. These strings can get incredibly dirty very quickly if you don't just wipe it down. So just pinch the string underneath and then pull it all the way up and down after every time you play, and that will keep the strings sounding as good for as long as possible. Another thing I use is axe wax. Now you can get this in your guitar stores. And yeah, this stuff is really great. So you can use it to polish your guitar. You can use it to lube up the strings as well. And it makes playing on the strings a whole lot nicer. Like, if you put some axe wax on, you'll feel the difference immediately. Like, sliding up and down the strings is like sliding on silk or something. It's actually quite nice. Marty's just asked, are you going to make just for Guitar Zero videos just for Guitar Zero to Hero members? Not quite sure what you mean by that, because these videos are just for Guitar Zero to Hero members, and also the ones on the course are just for members, except for the song tutorials. The song tutorials, some of them are public on YouTube as well, but all the fingerstyle tutorials are just for members, and all the theory are just for members as well, and same with the live streams. So not sure exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean song lessons just for members? Yeah, just clarify if you can. Anyway, yeah, so string lube is another thing I use to take care of my guitar. It's really nice. And another thing you can use is lemon oil. Lemon oil, you can buy that at a guitar store as well. And you just put that on the wood of your fretboard, and that just keeps your frets really nice and moist, because you don't want them drying out, because it's not good for the guitar. Marty, so you mean songs? Yeah, so special request songs. In your instance, actually, I'll email you after this regarding your request. But yeah, in terms of songs, the fingerstyle tutorials are just for members, and the public don't get access to them. All right, the next question was from Claudia, and she wanted to know how to reduce the sound of the fingers sliding across strings like this. So short answer, you're probably not going to be able to get rid of that. That's just how guitars are, and even if you listen to professional acoustic recordings and all that, you will still hear the sound of fingers moving up and down the strings. There's not too much you can do to avoid that. There's two things that you can do to minimize it. The first thing is to use duller strings, so not as bright. Now I'll just show you these strings here. So these are Elixir nanowebs, polyweb, yeah. So the polywebs sound a lot warmer. You can see on that scale they're on more to the left hand side. That means these strings sound a lot warmer and they're not as sharp. The other variants sound a lot crisper but have a lot more string noise, I guess, when you're moving up and down. So if you want to minimize the sound of that, then you can try those strings, but they do sound a lot more warm and less crisp and sparkly. And the second thing you can do is basically lift your fingers up off the strings as you slide down, but that is not recommended really, because then you're moving your fingers further away from where they need to be. In your example, you wanted to play Shape of You. I think it was that. Now, what you could do is, from going from this power chord to that power chord, you could technically lift your fingers up off and then slide down quickly. But it is a bit harder than just sliding across the strings and already having that contact with the strings. So I wouldn't recommend it, but there's your other option. I think you should just ignore the fact that that noise is there and just accept it. Yeah, so those are the only two questions we had, not too many. Now I want to just go through some a lesson on how to learn songs by ear. Now this will be just a quick overview. I do want to try to do a more in-depth video on this, but the method I use, and this is how I started learning songs by ear, is by using power chords. All right, so we all know, well, you should know by now what power chords are. In the most basic form, it's the root note of using your index finger and then down one string, 2 frets up, and those two notes played anywhere that shape constitutes a power chord, right? Now the beauty with power chords is that they are neither major nor minor. They're not one or the other. They could go either way. So in that regard, they're really good to use when starting to figure out a song by ear, because you're not playing a minor and you're not playing a major, you're just playing a power chord that will fit within whatever chord you're trying to figure out. So let's say you hear a song. How do you figure out what power chord you need to play, right? And generally, any song that you're trying to learn or figure out will have a chord progression. You're looking for a loop of, 3 or 4 chords, sometimes more, and you're trying to find that pattern. So the first way to go about it is with your power chords. I'm going to use one of my band's songs as an example, just because I don't want to flag any copyright issues on this video. But basically what you want to listen out for, this most important thing, is the bass note. Now this takes it does take practice. You're not going to be able to pick it up straight away, but if you do this over time, you will be able to pick up any song you hear, as long as you keep practicing it. So it'll be a bit hard for you to hear because this is coming out of a phone, so you won't hear the bass of it. So try listen out for the bass note, and then hum it to yourself, right? Hum it. That was the last bass note I heard. Let's go start again. That was a bit low. So what you can do is just play individual notes until you get to the one where you think it sounds right. So I think that one's an F. Of course I know what it is, but I'm using this as an example. So that's my next bass note. I've heard that note. So that's my other note that I'm looking at, and then the next one. So let's use the power chords for those notes, right? I had that F note there, and then I had the D minor. I had the D, sorry. And then I finally had the A minor bass note that I heard and hummed to myself, and I found that. So now I'm just using power chords. And I've found the chords of that song. Now the next question is, are they major or are they minor? Now without going into too much theoretic detail, because I could be here for a while, one simple tool you can use is the cheat sheets from my free guitar ebook. So looking at this one, so yeah, just experiment with those songwriting cheat sheets because they'll tell you what keys you are in generally. Just play around with them without getting into too much detail of music theory. But so now I know my F is major, D is minor. Oh, you lost sound. Is it back? Okay, alright, sorry guys. My bad. Going back to what I was saying. Alright, hopefully that's better now. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, here's the keys from the chord and songwriting cheat sheet. You can go through and look and see, hey, we're looking for an F, we're looking for an D, and we're looking for a A. Alright, so for this particular key, we have those notes in there. And there will be other keys that will have those same notes, but I know this one's the right key. And now we know that F is our F major, D is a D minor, and A is an A minor. Now you will need to experiment. Obviously, this is just an example, so it's not always going to be the rules. And as with anything in music, the rules can be tweaked a little bit. For example, for this particular key, A minor, sometimes people use E major chord if they want to add a little bit of flavor, but that's some more technical theory which I won't go into too much detail on. So yeah, heading back, now we know what our chords are, major or minor. So just to recap, I've hummed the bass note, so always start at that point because the bass is always going to be the giveaway for what the root note or the chord is. Then use your power chords to sort of get a feel for it on whether it sounds right or not. And then with the help of those chord and songwriting cheat sheets, you can generally find what key it's in and yeah, go from there. So that's one example, and let's try another one. So just bear with me. So I'm listening to it, I'm finding what that bass note is, and I'm humming it to myself. So what's that was right. Alright, so I'm starting on a C sharp here, and again we can use our power chords here. Was the second bass note. So B flat. Sorry, that first note was a C. Then we have B flat, and then the next note was a so we have a sorry, that first one was D. Yeah, my bad. D, then B flat, and then C, and then we're going back to B flat. So that's our chord progression there. Now, right now we're only using power chords, so what key does it align with? And usually the first chord of every chord progression generally is an indication of what key you could be in. So I'll just put this up, and this is the key of the song, but you could scroll through, and what we're looking for is any key that has these notes in it: a D, a C, and a B flat. And we have a B flat here, we have a C, and we have our D. So now we know the D is a D minor, the B is a B major, and the C is a C major. So now we can play the song. In its full form, and not just with the power chords. So that's just a quick overview of how I pick up songs. And this is what I do with all the songs that I teach. I figure them all out by ear. Like sometimes if I'm lazy, I'll just go on Ultimate Guitar and look up the chords, but a lot of the time they're wrong. So it's a really good skill for you to try to develop this yourself if you can. Yeah, so that key is the key ingredient of discovering what these songs, how to learn songs by ear, is the bass note. So always try to listen to that bass. It's always, don't listen through a phone. I'm just using a phone as an example just because I don't have speakers here or anything. But use headphones. Use anything that will get you the biggest bass response. So one ear headphones, and then you can hum that bass note and then try to find the note on the guitar and work around that. All right, guys, so that's all I have for today. It's my quick overview on how to learn songs by ear, and that's where I started. And yeah, how long's it been now? I don't know, 15 years on. I've gotten a lot better at it, and I wasn't good at the start. And yes, Marty, you will have to work at it. It's something that just takes time, so give it a go. Yeah, just give it a go and see how close you are to it. But of course, some songs are going to be a lot harder than others. If I was to pick I don't know, some sort of song that had like all these guitar licks and riffs in it, it'll be a lot harder. But if you're just picking a song that's got a nice general groove and solid chord shapes, then learning the song by ear will be easy. Carsten, you're occasionally using drum tracks and you're wondering if there are any rules and do's and don'ts when playing guitar along to a drummer. Should the guitar strictly follow the snare, bass drum, hi-hats? Well, I mean, the biggest rule is that you need to be in time with it. But that's an obvious one. Can you clarify? Sorry, can you clarify what you mean by that? Are you writing songs or are you just jamming? And Marty, yeah, I certainly would like to come over to the States soon. I've been there twice now. I love it. So it's a great place. I'll definitely try to be back sometime. Just jamming. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, when you're jamming with the drum track, I mean, there are no rules really. You just want to make sure you're in time, and the hi-hat, does the drummer dictate strumming pattern? Kind of. Yeah. See, the guitar's a really percussive instrument by itself already, so yeah, you should sort of try to mimic what the drummer is doing. I don't know if I can pull an example up. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of an example here. The drum beat will dictate the strumming pattern. Like you could put one strumming pattern on top of a drum beat and it might sound a bit weird, but technically it's correct. Technically it could be in time, but the feel is different. And this is something it's hard to sort of teach this sort of thing in a way, but as you learn more and more songs, you will understand what strumming patterns sound better with what. So if there was a drum beat that's just going cats, that's really easy, and you could just do a down 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 and in that regard you would be following with the hi-hat. But if you had something like a let me think. Something with more of a in that regard, I'd use something more like a so I mean, I don't know if that's probably made it more confusing. Yeah, I'd say so. Don't follow the drums exactly. Filling the spaces there is a good idea. But Also, if the drum's gonna have a bit of a longer pause on a particular beat, then uh, as a as a guitarist, you should strum something similar. Um, I should probably make a more in-depth lesson on jamming along with drums and whatnot. So no, thank you for the question. You put me on the spot here, and it's something that's, I don't know, for me a bit more of a natural thing. When I hear a strumming pattern, I will just sort of try to work around it as opposed to think about the snare and the drum. It's come a lot a bit more natural over time. So yes, I don't know if you want to clarify or sorry if that that wasn't the answer you're looking for. I'll shoot me an email if you want, and send me a video of your playing, and I can give you better feedback that way. So yeah, I'm always open to you guys sending me videos. You're saying, so if the drum's busy, the strumming is busy. Yeah, there's never one set rule for jamming with the drummer. Like, if the drummer had a drum beat, I could play something complicated to it, or I could strip it back entirely. It's kind of, you can kind of, I think you gotta play to what the rest of the band is doing. I mean, if it's a slow section in the song, or a quieter section, you don't want to overdo the strumming in that part. But if it's the chorus, then perhaps you want to throw in some more strums and all that sort of thing. No worries about the late question, Carsten. Definitely, yes. Send me a video of you jamming. I'd love to see what you're doing, and I can offer some feedback. I can show you what I would do instead. And yeah, so thank you very much, guys. I will see you all in the next Q&A, which will be in 2 months. I'm always available on email, so yeah, contact me and hit me up. I'm really interested to see you guys play. I want to see if you guys have gotten better, and yeah, have a great week, guys. Yeah, it's Sunday today, isn't it? So yeah, have a great week, and I'll chat to everyone soon. See you later.